Welcome to this BVTV Network Trilogy, coming to you from the UK Studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. Now, my guest has written what I think is the book, not just of the moment, but one bringing a long-term, sensible solution to what is an unseen but a formidable challenge. I'm so in tune with the contents and core message of this book, so excuse me if I become a bit too enthusiastic during the trilogy. You're going to find out how to take back the leadership of your mind from the author of this book, The Success Mindset. So please meet Paola Knecht. Hello, Paola.
Hi, Malcolm.
Oh, it's lovely talking to you. Now, you're in a very posh part of the world, Switzerland, aren't you?
That's right.
Snow,
I'm
snow, snow.
snow all over, January, winter time, shorter days and longer nights.
Yeah, nice though. Listen, I adore your book. I really do. I was reading your book, and when I was reading your book, my head kept nodding in agreement so much. I was like one of those nodding dogs on the back parcel shelf of a car. You know what I mean? Your message in your book is so wonderfully written. I like the way you write. I do like the way you write, and so clearly delivered. So where do we start? Well, one of my favorites, given our name of BizVision, and is called vision. And I suggest that many people have lost their focus and the vision forward is currently blurred. So how do they get it back into focus?
Well, Malcolm, wonderful start. I just remember this phrase by Michael Beckwith, which resonates a lot at these times, which is pain pushes you until the vision pulls you.
Mm.
And it basically says it all, right? I think that more than trying to focus on their vision back, I think most people still need to do a self-introspection and really discover their vision. Because once you are really clear on it, you don't need to be reminded on what to do, right? You really get pulled to it. You cannot help yourself but to go towards it, towards your life task. And that's why I believe that one of the key things, especially on these times, to do is really to self-reflect and go back a bit inwards and really rediscover who you really are.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's not, I loved what you just said there, because you said rediscover. So it's not reinvent, it's rediscover in many cases, isn't it?
Exactly. I believe that we are born already with a life task, with something that inherently is what we're meant to do here, what gives our life a meaning. And this already, most of the times you find it on your childhood years. What you love to do as a kid tells you a lot about what are your passions, what is what you really love doing. When time goes away and you just don't keep track of it, you can do it the whole day along. And so yes, I believe you rediscover it. That is not something you have to reinvent.
Yeah.
It's not something you have to define, but it's something that comes back to you.
Yeah, yeah. I take one point about the rediscovery, by the way, that pandemic has forced us into doing. We couldn't go places, but we could go for a walk. And I think people have rediscovered nature.
Absolutely. And nature is a great teacher, and it brings you back into focus because it brings you to the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
You admire the smells of the woods in the forest, or just looking how the flowers come in spring with the different colors. And it just brings you back to that awareness that, hey, I'm alive, I'm breathing.
Yes, yeah.
There's so much to enjoy.
Yeah, I love forest bathing, you know, when you just, I think that's the expression, isn't it? When you're just walking through and you're bathing in the nature in the forest.
Yeah, I can resonate with that. I love walks in nature. Actually, they inspire me. They bring me with new ideas.
Hmm.
Every time I feel stuck in my work and I need some spark of creativity, I just go for a jog or a walk in the forest, and suddenly it just comes to me.
Yeah, yeah. We had a massive storm at the end of last year here in northern England called Storm Arwen, and I lost 6 trees in the gardens, trees that have been there 50 to 100 years, and
Oh,
and I just looked at them laid on the floor after the storm there, which of course is Mother Nature, by the way, isn't it? But
yeah.
you feel like you'd lost something. I had to get myself out and go and find some trees to walk in just to remind me. But it's finding something like that, though, isn't it? And you suggest many ways in your book. So tell me then, just as quickly, how should one get back the focus?
There are many ways, as you mentioned. One of them that I found particularly helpful is really to reconnect back to what you like to do as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to your childhood years and just try to remember what you love to do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's one of the most powerful ways to reconnect with that forgotten passion.
yeah. I really like that one, and I sort of took a note of that. And thinking about it, I sort of reconnected with my father, who's been dead for quite a number of years now. But I just liked his values. I liked what he was about.
Right.
Yeah, and it just put a nice sort of glow to my face. That.
Exactly. And more than looking back at activities, you can also look at events, something that shaped your life in a way that you could not have imagined all these years back. But for example, I remember a specific event on my childhood when I loved to write and read since I was a very young girl. And I just have this very fresh memory of how I used to dig around my father's office, and I opened a drawer and I saw a beautiful, colorful collection of the Reader's Digest
Yes.
magazines.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
90s, they were very famous. And I just remember the sparkling of my eyes
Yeah.
when I saw it, and the curiosity to just take the books and just smell them and grasp them and check at the images.
Yeah.
And this is very deep, vivid vision of, okay, since then I was fascinated by books, by learning, by understanding. And and every time I feel confused about what to do, or if I feel stuck on, I thought I lost my track, because you have so many things in your head and you don't know where to refocus, what do you want to do next. I remember these flash memories of these events,
Fabulous.
and this gives me like a certainty that I'm doing the right path. I was meant to be a writer. I was meant to develop my knowledge of on human nature, because that's what since very early years I was
Mm.
wandering around. And
Thanks, Paula. Now, let's give viewers and listeners details of your URL, your website address. Obviously, viewers, you can see it on the screen behind me, but for listeners, let me spell it out. It's all the W's, my, hyphen, mindpower.com, my-mindpower.com. Paula's book, this one, is called The Success Mindset, Take Back the Leadership of Your Mind, and it's published by her Knecht Publishing. In episode 2, I'm going to ask Paola, how can we break free from constraints and create a winning self-image? Meanwhile, thanks, Paola, for a great episode 1.
thank you, Malcolm.